Welcome back to a special edition of Banditland Boulevard. We got a back-to-back weekend coming up for the boys in the orange and black. One home game, one road game. So what does that mean? Friday night, Saturday night, back-to-back games. Number one, the Bandits are 4-6. This is easily a chance to get back to 500 this weekend. But it also means that Tony and I are squeezing two previews in the same episode. Tony, we got Saskatchewan, the team that's 10-1 at the top of the standings right now, at home on Friday, 7:30. And then little brother, we're going into their barn, 7 o'clock on Saturday, Toronto or Hamilton or whatever the hell you want to call them, rock. I put it in the title, Tony. Pretty simple. Win these games. You have to win these games to keep yourself alive.
Yeah, I mean, after proving themselves to only play one half of lacrosse against Vancouver, which, again, if they would have duplicated that in the second half, that was a walkaway win, technically speaking, if you want to really say about it. But it just seemed like their game style and their game planning has got to do with what their failures have been throughout these past 5 out of 6 games losing. You got to play a full 60. And the only way they're going to have to do that, like Gert said in his post, you have to find that mentality back. You have to get back to your roots. You have to find that passion, that pride, and the drive to finally get those W's back on the column. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at a playoff picture outside looking in type moment.
Yeah, you got a better chance at, if you lose one of these games this weekend, I hate to be the devil's advocate here, but if you lose one of them, especially the SAS game, which is going to be the toughest one of all.
Right.
If you lose one of these games, you're realistically closer to drafting the first overall pick than going to the playoffs, if I'm being completely honest with you. Like, you're smack dab in the middle, but you're kind of waning towards that back end. You're kind of closer to the odds of being able to trade up and get that first overall pick. And the 7th time in franchise history missing the playoffs, which is crazy to even think about, but they have it still at 4-6. They can still control their own destiny, and that is an important thing to understand about the National Lacrosse League. Sure, they play 18 games, but sometimes all it takes is a back-to-back weekend to get yourself back into the swing of things. And the Bandits, what they typically do on back-to-backs that we've seen over the past couple years, they win one and they drop one, but they're usually pretty close between those two games. Unless you go back to the 2024 finals, they played that Albany game Friday on the road, and then they won the cup on that following Saturday, literally 24 hours later. So if they sweep this home and away weekend series, that'll be the first time since the 2024 finals that they actually up and do that.
Yeah, that would be great if we can find that rhythm back and get that play hard and then just don't quit type attitude, and they got to prove it to themselves. They can't prove it to us. They've obviously done that the last 3 seasons when they won the titles, but again, this is the kind of like prove it to us type deal now, especially with being 4-6 and like outside looking in on the playoff picture. But they got to do it for themselves. They can't just say, oh well, it was a great run. Frig that. I'd be like, you know what, let's buckle down, let's play one team at a time and get that W at whatever cost we need to do. I mean, we need to beat them on the scoreboard. Who cares about the penalties and, taking foolish remarks against them, and just play your game, get back on the winning side, get the scoreboard 1+ more than the opponent. And let's just walk away with these wins this weekend coming up.
And it's so crazy to think 4-6 and you can still control your own destiny. First of all, we didn't have the Bandits being in this position to begin with, especially after the way that they played through their first 4 games. They went 3-1, and then they lost 4 in a row, and they haven't found that groove back since probably the Calgary or the Las Vegas game. We never thought that they would be in this position, number one. Number two, it's also crazy that we just wrapped up doing a show where we said that, losing that game last week, we're probably not going to go to the playoffs. 4-6, back-to-back, you can still control your own destiny here. And let's just say if the Bandits go in there and sweep them, which would be absolutely crazy if they, first of all, take down the Saskatchewan Rush, who are due for a loss. If you look at their record, they're 10-1.
10-1.
They've played some cupcakes along the way, especially over the past couple weeks. So they are due for a loss. I mean, they almost lost to Vancouver, and the Bandits hung around with them pretty much the entire game outside of maybe the first quarter. They had to go to overtime to beat those guys, a team that the Bandits hung with the entire time. So they're due for a loss. In Toronto, I mean, I don't care how good the Bandits are, how good the Rock are, how bad the Bandits are. how bad the Rock are. That's a one-sided rivalry. I mean, if the Bandits and the Rock played each other 20 times, I think the Bandits win 19 times out of 20. I'm not even joking when I say that. So you can still get yourself off the deck. And let's just say that you go in and sweep these two teams, the Rush and the Rock. You are fired up and you are scorching hot going into the next home game against the Mammoth, the team that just lost to the Rock. So there'll be not just a little bit of blood in the water. There's a lot of blood in the water if you go in and take care of business this weekend and win both games. If you win both games, Tony, I might be the most insane person on this show, and I will get ready to move some spots around back here and talk about a potential 2026 title, because not only do you win both of these games, but 6-6 puts you in probably 7th place in the playoffs, and you are starting to heat up. You're starting to get scorching hot towards the back end of the season, and we know what the back end of the season is. That's going into postseason time. When the Bandits get hot going into the postseason, no team can stop them. So
not one.
This series is the most important stretch of games this season. You got to take care of business at home against the Rush, even though it really isn't likely on paper. But you can go into Toronto and beat them. But I want to sweep, man. At 4-6, I want to sweep. If the Bandits were 7-3 right now, I'd say, you know what? Win one, lose one. Who cares? At that rate, that puts you at 8-4. You're still top 4 of the standings. But that's just not the case this year. You're 4-6. Your backs are against the wall. But welcome to the National Lacrosse League, where it's all unified, where there's only 14 teams and you only play 18 games. The fact that you can still control your own destiny, maybe not for a home quarterfinal matchup, but for a playoff spot at 4-6 is absolutely absurd to say.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, especially with the fact that now that if we can win these 2 games and get back to being 500 again, 6-6 does sound like promising numbers to get back into the playoff picture. But again, you got to stop thinking what lies ahead. You got to worry about who you're playing first, and that is the Saskatchewan Rush.
Let's get right into it.
Yeah, basically, you know who you got, what you have to do. You know what they bring to the table. They're bringing an impressive revenge record, actually, we can say, from last season, especially how the Bandits beat the Saskatchewan Rush in the 2025 finals. So, again, let's get into the names that we need to watch. My go-to guy for Sass, and he's been red hot ever since the start of the beginning of the season, and that is Ryan Keenan, who averages about 6, 7, 8 points a night easily because he's got a good team in front of him. The offense is clicking. He's got an amazing shot that it is very, very hard to stop. And that all goaltenders need to watch out for, especially Matt Vince, that he has to figure out something to beat Ryan Keenan. Keenan is one of those guys that we can mention that you have to limit. But again, it is very difficult to limit a star like Keenan who knows how to find the back of the net and produces points for his team. Huge step up that what the defense needs to stop him. But again, they got a whole list of names that could be an even 5-on-5 matchup.
Agreed. And Bandit killers, too. I mean, I'm looking at one right now. Number 2, Zach Mans. I mean, Ryan Keenan, not only has he been averaging around 7 through 9, 10 points a game, but we know what Zach Mans could do. In that 15-6 game 3 last year, Zach Mans was the one that was trying to pump up the Rush crowd. And he scored a couple in that game. Obviously, none in the second half because none of the Rush players did in that game 3. But he was one of the lone contributors to that game. And I think that does continue, especially due to the fact that the Saskatchewan Rush are 10-1 right now. There are a lot of players on that team that can score, including fellow and most notorious Bandit killer on that team, Robert Church, who scored the overtime winner against Vancouver a couple weeks ago. And he's not just a Bandit killer, he's a Matt Vince killer. Eats him alive.
Yeah, the man who knows how to pick corners, and especially through the weakness of Matt Vince's shoulder, he'll pick that pocket every single time he will take that shot against him. But Matt Vince, like we said, he's got to step up and he's got to rely on his defense and he's got to rely on himself too, especially like to fix his problem of staying square with the shot or staying, in front of the ball. But the fact is that Robert Church is one of those go-to guys, like we mentioned with Ryan Keenan and with Zach Mans. They are go-to players that could produce points. Church, by far, like you said, he stepped up and became the hero in that Vancouver game in overtime by beating Del Bianco 5-hole
Yep.
to win that
On the
game.
finish line.
So what does that tell you? You got to literally push out and not give him the shot that he needed. But if he gets that window, we're in a whole heap of trouble if we don't stop Robert Church.
But as soon as, I mean, there are some goals that guy scores where you think you already have him covered and he has no lane to shoot. And he just somehow finds a corner. And it's just like, you just got to tip your cap at that point. But yeah, he's been really good. I was really happy the way that the Bandits attacked him in game 3. I think he only scored 1 goal in that do or die game 3. The Bandits really shut him down in that game. They shut down pretty much the entire team. When you look at the box score, they went a full 30 minutes in that second half without scoring a goal. I want to mention their defense, too. They're also very sound defensively. Holden Garland, who is a Canisius College grad, by the way, fellow local guy, Canisius Griffin, by the way. He's really good. Adam J is very underrated in this league as well. And you got to look at their faceoff guy, Jake Nasso.
One of the up and coming guys that could probably take on Nordella and Withers without problems. And that's another guy you have to watch out for, because Connor Farrell and him went back and forth with each other in that series. Let me say in that championship round. And Nassau became one of those guys that can, hey, if you need a guaranteed win of a faceoff, I'm your guy. So Nassau is one of those go-to players who you want to rely on control of the game. Nassau is your guy.
Absolutely. And I mean, when the game got a little bit lopsided there in that do or die game 3, I think Connor Farrell won a whole bunch just because, I mean, there was so much momentum and the crowd was so loud there. But
oh yeah, absolutely.
Nassau's one of the best. I mean, he's up there with Baptiste, and he's up there with Withers from Halifax. So we got a lot of great players in this league, and I would say that he's probably close to a top 3 spot. I'm not even going to lie. And then obviously their goaltender, Frank Scigliano. We all know how good that guy is, and we know how great he is in 2026. He might be the best goalie in the league.
As of right now, yeah, because he's got his team at 10 out of 11 game victories. I mean, why not? That's the main reason. He's like a brick wall back there. He's like Connor Hellerbuck in the USA game, but just being a brick wall. And the best thing about him is he may have his weak point games and he may have his great games, but when you have a good team in front of you, his win percentage is up there. It's like in the 90 to 95 plus. That you can rely on him to do what he's got to do and do his job. So that's huge for the defensive spot, and that's also huge for his defensive core to keep him at what he's doing so good, and that is stopping the ball at many times, as many shots as possible. But Scigliano is another guy that we have to figure out how to beat him. And that could be either going low. It could be like going against Nick Rose. He may be strong up top, but he's just terrible at the base. But again, the Bandits offense has got to do something about Frank Scigliano. Otherwise, it could be like what he did against Philadelphia, only holding him on to 6 goals, and that's it.
And he's got Matt Vince-itis sometimes too. A lot of the over-the-shoulder shots is what kind of burns him. And no pun intended here, but Josh Byrne in that whole postseason series in the championship in games 1 through 3, every time he burned him, it was over the shoulder, or it was up towards the midsection. So he's got his weaknesses too, but he is countless freaking games where he held teams to under 10 goals. He's one of the best in the league this year. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do our players to watch for the Bandits for the series. So for both Saskatchewan and Toronto games, we'll do that. What are the keys to a Bandits victory against a team like the Saskatchewan Rush?
Attack quick. We can't give this team any kind of efforts or any gains or no chances to give to Matt Vince at all. We need to play aggressive. We need to play. It's going to be our game to take and not look back. But you got to keep that gas pedal down, and you cannot give these guys an inch. Otherwise, they are going to swarm back. They're going to rush you like their name title is, and they're going to find a way to beat you in your house. So we don't want to be beat no more at Banditland. We don't. Because the only way we're going to have to really, really get under the skin of this team is like we did in the finals. We just support our boys as much as possible. We get under the goaltender's skin, and hopefully our stars become stars. And that is a huge thing that Byrne, Smith, McKay, Buchanan, Nanakoke, I can name the whole roster, and that's so much as you can too. But we need to get to Frank Scigliano quick, fast, as multiple times as possible, and just get out there and kick the living crap out of him until he can't breathe no more and get the backup in.
And if there's one thing for certain, especially at the KeyBank Center, the Bandits and Rush games are always back and forth. They're always must-see TV. They're always very entertaining. And all those players that you just named have had some success against Frank Shigliano. So that's big. Playing a full 60, I would say that. But, I mean, against this team, I'd be happy if you play a full 45, if I'm being completely honest with you, against a 10-1 team that's pissed off about 2025 and how that went in the finals. So that I wouldn't say full 60 there, even though I would love it. I mean, if you guys want to do it against the best team in the league. What I will say, though, is fast pace on offense. Fast-paced passing, keep the defense on their toes, and attack quick, because we can't afford, with that defense, with Adam J. and Holden Garland and Mike Messenger, those guys, once they get set, it's pretty hard to beat those defensemen. So when you go into the offensive zone, if there's a lane, shoot it early. You don't have to wait until less than 10 seconds to shoot the ball. Fast-paced passing, cross-crease passing, keep the goaltender, make him dizzy back there. Fast-paced passing across the crease, have him unsure of where he's standing. Don't make him comfortable. Attack quick. And, I mean, going up against a guy like Nassau, it's going to be tough to get the first possession, but whatever time you get your first possession, why not score a quick goal with Josh Byrne? Why not score a quick goal with Kyle Buchanan? So attack fast, make them try to catch up the rest of the way, because I will say you made a hell of a comeback against Vancouver going on that 6-0 run, but when you're down 5-1, it sucks all the energy out of you. And I think that's part of the reason why the Bandits didn't score anything in the third goal. They wasted all that energy and pretty much just busted the game open when it was in the second quarter, and they had nothing to show for it in the remaining half. So if you get out to a lead, you're not exerting that much energy. You're also firing up the crowd of hopefully 19,070. I know Friday night games are a little bit more tough to go to, and those aren't normally sellouts, but 17,000 plus, they'll be on their feet screaming. And damn it, this is to save your season. I mean, let's just
pretty much.
So if you attack quickly, I promise you great results will come from that.
Don't stop getting under Frank Shigliano's skin. You got to get him miserable. You got to make him rattled. You got to make him realize why you're the champions of the National Lacrosse League and why you came back to our barn, schedule reasons purposes. But the fact is, we need our boys to do good. We need our boys to get back into that rhythm where they are passing a few times, getting the shots before 10 seconds or less hit. Yes. I think if they really throw off their opponents going, why are they shooting early and why are they getting to the loose balls? That's the way you got to change the mentality of this team. I understand the longer you keep them in your zone, the defense is going to wither. It's going to get tired, and the goaltender is going to lose confidence in the defense because they're getting tired in front of him, and he's the only one that's left that can stop 5 of you. So maybe that's the thing they got to change and do something good too as well, is that attacking the offense early. Don't give them the benefit of the doubt by waiting for that last 5 seconds or less kind of shot. Keep peppering the goalie. I want to see maybe close to 100 shots on Frank Shigliano and really make him earn his spot to become why he's 10-1 with this Rush team. If you get there and you just start hammering away, everybody on that floor, it could be Clay Scanlon, Lucas Nielsen. It could be anybody. Throw the ball to the net. Anything is possible to go in. If you guys at least hit the net, that's the one thing. But if you at least make him think, God, I can't take another shot, get him to think that, and he is going to fall, and we're going to take advantage of the situation. So pepper as much as possible.
And here's the thing about waiting until 5 seconds to shoot the ball. When there's 5 seconds on the clock, the defense knows that a shot is coming. If you take a shot with 21, 20, 22 seconds left to go in the shot clock, they don't know see exactly that shot is coming. So
that's right.
They can see how much time is left on the shot clock too. So if you wait till 3 seconds, they're anticipating a shot coming. So keep them on their toes. It also keeps the goalie on their toes too. They got some big defensemen back there that can actually screen Shigliano and help out the Bandits if needed.
That's
so
right.
Wanted to throw that out there as well, and just outman your guys. Be more physical than them. Just beat them to the loose balls. Your season is on the line. Show it physically that your season's on the line. Play like if you lose this game, you're losing $1 million each.
Exactly.
If that was me in that situation, I'm hitting everybody on the field that has the ball. I'm laying an extra slash into them. I'm laying an extra cross check into them behind the play. I'm letting them know that, hey, we're here. we're here. We never left. So your season's on the line. Act like your season's on the line, because it is.
Every quarter. Every quarter. Play every
quarter.
quarter. Play every quarter like it means the world to you, boys. That's all we got to say about that.
What do you want to do, Tony? Do you want to wait till you want to do a score prediction for both games at the very end, or do you want to go preview?
Yeah, we could definitely do that at the end. That'll be fine.
All right, so there's your Friday Night Lights. I don't remember exactly what the theme is for Friday Night Lights. Do you remember?
It's the rock and roll theme.
Rock and roll. Okay, so rock and roll weekend.
The
night before the Bandits face against the Toronto Rock. Okay, I kind of dig that. Kind of makes sense. So you're going to be hearing all the Rock classics. I believe the last Friday night one was Y2K night, so we got Rock and Roll night this time. That should be fun. And hopefully the Bandits come out on top. That would be phenomenal. If they go out on top, you know that they're looking at they're licking their chops, looking at this team that's coming up.
Yep.
The Toronto Rock. So they're back in Hamilton, no longer in Mississauga in the Paramount Fine Food Center. They're in the newly renovated TD, I think it's the TD Arena, formerly known as the First Ontario Center. That's what it was before.
Yes.
So you're back in that barn, a barn that the Bandits have had some very, very good success in. But Toronto did have the first, 3 overall picks in the draft this year?
Yep.
Their team got better. Who are the players to watch for Toronto?
Well, I'm going to go with Bushi, number 1, is the guy that you're going to look up to besides Rogers and besides Schreiber. But the fact is that Bushi is one of those annoying gnats that always has the the Bandits' thorn side. And it's like, why do you got to keep pestering me? Why do you got to be the only one that we can't stop and be annoying like a bee and freaking buzzing around every time that we were like trying to get away from me? It's like, come on.
You got to get
the he's one of those. He is one of those guys that will annoy you and score multiple goals if you do allow him to enter the defensive zone and also give him that high slot area all the time. So, but besides that, he's also one of those behind the net type goals too. So you got to watch out for those two as well.
How about we look out for rookie, one of the first overall draft selections, CJ Kirst on offense.
Yes.
Too. That kid is good.
He's impressive.
6 foot, 190 pounds, but dude, he flies up and down the field like he's 150 pounds. Like he is one of the most quick, electrifying players that you'll ever see on the floor. So sucks that he has to go to Toronto because I loved watching his old tape. That was always good. Do we say this just for fun, just for the storyline, just for the plot? Do we watch number 91, Billy Hostrauser?
Well, if he's going to be intimidating and also get under the skin of Nick Weiss and all the other tough guys on our team or go after some of our stars, I mean, you got to protect our stars, obviously. But if it was going to be a rematch between Weiss and him, you're going to see that Saturday night. And he's just one of those irritating, annoying, that just doesn't want to let go of the past about all the times we beat them, and just he's one of those guys that'll get a penalty and not be called. But again, he's a rat. He's like the Brad Marchand of the NLL. I'll say that. Except he's a smart rat, and he uses a fork to take the piece of cheese off the mousetrap. That's what he does. He's just annoying like that. That's just for the plot only. I want to say Sam English too on defense. Syracuse grad, very, very good at lacrosse, and we know how good that Sam English is. As far as faceoffs are concerned, I believe that their guy is Latrell Harris, so look out for him as well. And if there wasn't blood in the water already, Nick Rose. Last time we checked, we are recording this as of Thursday night, or Wednesday night. So anything could change. Nick Rose is on the injury reserve, so they're starting goaltender. Well, I don't think it's going to be our old buddy Steve Orleman, even though how cool would that have been? Troy Holochuk will be the starting goalie if all things stay the same for the Toronto Rock. And I don't know, Tony, if you remember the 22 playoffs, the 23 playoffs, 2019 playoffs. I think Nick Rose got pulled in every single one of those games, at least in one of them in those seasons. And for the games where Holochuk played against the Bandits, he sucked. The Bandits dominated him. So that's a big player to watch for Toronto for sure. Well, let's take you back. Let's do the time warp again, if we may say. He like you stated, has not the best of luck against Buffalo. And that could probably be the only thing I could say the Bandits could win one out of the two, or if they get lucky on Friday, to win both games on Saturday, because he himself, even though he's having a decent season and the record is above 500, and he's getting his playing time like I think he rightfully deserves, but the fact is that when he plays Buffalo and he knows what's coming, he has a very difficult time facing us. And the only reasons why is because when Nick Rose was their starter and he was watching how demolished he was getting, and then he says, hey, guess what, Troy, you're going in.
Me?
Crap.
I'm going in? Me?
Oh, God. Yeah. And now it's like
there.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Troy. I mean, I know you're coming out of a pretty rough ride, if you want to say this, but and you guys are having a decent season. I'm not saying anything bad about that. But when you play Buffalo, it is your nightmare before Christmas, or if it's like your Friday the 13th, but it's on Saturday instead. But the fact is, it's like, the nightmare's coming, and it's either you got to try to wake yourself up and do something about it. But I think the Bandits have a much better chance against Toronto than they do the Rush. But again, Troy's going to have to watch out for our scoring power, and I know we could beat him without question.
I will give Troy Holochuk the benefit of the doubt in one incident here. He has been the starter for a couple weeks now since Nick Rose has been on the shelf. So he's had some experience, more experience now as a starter than he has as just a guy cold coming off the bench, something like that. So he's had more starts. He's probably more experienced. He's probably better than he was all those years in the playoffs where the Bandits just beat the crap out of him. But we shall see what happens. I think it's time to preview the Bandits players to watch for this weekend series.
The whole series.
Players to watch for Friday and Saturday for the Bandits.
You go first on that one.
I got to see a big series out of Ian McKay. I mean, two teams last year that Ian McKay absolutely unloaded on. Dominated the Rush in pretty much every game in the championship finals and the regular season game on the road in Saskatchewan last year. He had a really good game there too. So, and then do we need to say any more about his stats against the Toronto Rock? I think it was that week, the week that his stepfather passed away, where he scored 5 goals against Nick Rose, I believe. So that was at home. And so we all know that he puts up great numbers against Toronto too. Add all those goals up and all those games that they played last year, you're probably looking at 14 or 15 goals from Ian McKay against both of these teams. So we know that he can dominate them. Why not have that trend continue, especially when your season, everyone's backs are against the wall. Your season's like pretty much on the line here.
Yeah. McKay has that gift to score goals when he needs to. He needs to find that confidence like Josh Burns been having a little rough patch. But Ian will get to that point. They just need the right motivation boost. And this is one of those games and teams you're playing against that he has had success with. So the fact that if he can just get that vibe back, like, hey, give me the rock. Let me see what I can do. Let me get to the scoring back and track and why I was the reason I was the MVP of last year's finals. That's the mentality I think if Ian McKay can find again, he can really light the lamp up. And that's somebody that we need to start scoring goals again. He's been very quiet recently, and we need to find him to get back into the 2-3 goal kind of mentality. So for that being a good pick on your behalf, I would have definitely have agreed with Ian McKay as well. That needs to be a go-to guy in these next 2 games.
And not to mention, I know this is kind of a little sidebar here, but not only if the Bandits win both of these games are they in a playoff spot, they also would hold the head-to-head tiebreaker against both the Rush and the Rock. Just throwing that out there. So if you win both games, you're essentially winning 4, if that makes any sense. You'd have the head-to-head against Saskatchewan, even though no one's going to catch them at this rate, but it's always nice to have that head-to-head tiebreaker. Toronto, that one might come down to the wire. If they lose a couple and the Bandits win a couple, that might be the difference maker between 8th and 9th in the postseason standings. So the Toronto game is very important for the boys as well.
Sure. Every game is important at this point. So with what you said, even though we do play SAS twice still,
you get that initial win.
You get that first take, that'd be huge, especially when you're home. But Again, they have to face them late in March, so hopefully that would be a huge deal to go there and be like, you know what, we're going to be a spoiler to your success, so we're going to try to take both games against you. So, but other than that, another name I wanted to bring up too, known to man, is a guy who has scored every single game, but again, the little mistakes he's got to tweak so he doesn't cost a game. Tahoka Nanticoke.
Yep.
Listen. I love the fact that you scored every single game this year. That shows you are a promising 3-year contract deal guy. But the mentality of saying the retaliating penalties or just taking some nail biting, like why'd you do that type deals, you gotta let that go. You cannot do that, especially that late in the game. If you want to get that anger out, take it out on scoring goals. You want to get that the stress level gone, take it out by producing points. Get the guys the right path by scoring the goals and getting above the opponents rather than taking the foolish penalties and costing your team the game. Not just you and making yourself look bad, but you costing the team the game. And I don't want to say that was all on him of that last game, but that really was a costly penalty that kind of like swayed the other way. So you got to just keep calm and just score goals. That's all we want you to do. Create penalties. Yes, that's fine. But score goals mostly and get back on the track that you can get the 5-point, 6-point nights that you could be doing.
You know who else I want to watch?
Sure.
Other than Nanticoke, who's been scoring every game. Someone who scored every game except one. Your guy, Kyle Buchanan, number 91.
Okay. Yes, sir.
The only guy that thought it was a good idea to score a couple last week in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, outside of one game, I think it was in Colorado, was the only game where he didn't even score. So Kyle Buchanan is right up there with Tahoka Nanticoke for one of the most consistent goal scorers on the team. And when you're playing a back-to-back, you got to look at guys like Nanticoke. You got to look at guys like Buchanan, the most consistent forwards on the team. Look out for them to have two pretty explosive games.
Yeah, if Bucky could do what he does best, and that is still produce 5-6 points per game, that's enough out of that man. I mean, really, honestly, your stars need to be stars, and they need to take grasp of what they do best, and that is produce points themselves.
Dan and Josh.
Yes, of course. Yes. Yep. We're talking about 92-22 connection. We need those boys to get back.
Throw number 48 in there, too. Throw in Vince in there. He's a star. Play like a star.
Play like a star. You need to play like that. Like I said, every game here from now on is in playoff mode, God mode. You need to really get back on track. You need to really make sure that the reasons why you're the best, and you got to do it and prove it to yourselves. We know you're good. Prove it to yourselves that you are good. And the only way you're going to do that is by winning these 2 games this weekend.
That's what you got to do. And, it starts with maybe your secondary guy. I don't know. Like, the only guys that have been scoring on a consistent basis is your secondary guys. Does that make your secondary guys anymore? Like they have Josh and Dane maybe have turned into the secondary guys this season.
Oh God, that's
your primary guys this year are Nanticoke and Buchanan. Your secondary guys this year have been like Dane, Josh, Scanlon, Nielsen, Benesh, like a few of those players. That's
not common to hear those names, especially over your stars.
It's wild. It's absolutely crazy. But if I want to watch a defenseman this weekend, Mitch DeSnew in a back-to-back. Number one.
Oh, God, yes.
Because he's going up against a tough offense in Saskatchewan, but he's going up against his former team where he won Defensive Player of the Year against the Toronto Rock. He has been the best defenseman on the team when he's been healthy.
Yeah.
You got to see him how he is on both a Friday and a Saturday back-to-back.
He needs to maintain his health, yes. Does he have to play aggressively like he has been and getting to a lot of loose balls in the defensive side? Yes. But again, it's not just based on one defender. It's based on a defensive core. Yep. And the only way he's a big piece of that defensive core. Now, with Dawson, Priolo, the tall guys in front blocking the shots, great. That's all you really need to do. For say Belter and for Spanger coming back, you got to find that rhythm again to where you're comfortable about playing your position. And for guys who switch on and off, say like Thomas Whitty and what is this?
Mike McCannell, Cam Wires.
Yep. If Cam Wires too as well. If those boys can all just say, look, we need to protect our goalie as much as we possibly can. And we cannot just weigh in on just a few names on defensively to say they could do the whole thing, but we can't. It's not like that. You got to play as one. The only way you're going to win games is you play as one. Stop with this ego bullshit. Stop with the one-man show. It's all about being a team, and you guys have to find that defensive strategic way to beat your opponents again like you have been doing. Yes, I get that Matt Vince is trying to do his 10-11 goal type average, which is pretty damn good in the National Lacrosse League. I mean, don't get me wrong, especially with this young, fast-paced offenses that we have been facing against so far. But if you keep a team like that to that, but you can get like 13-14 to win the game, that's an everyday done deal win in my book. But you got to show us why you're the best defensive core. But you got to start winning games to prove that, boys.
And I'll be honest with you, if the Bandits go into the home game and win 16-15, and then they go into the road game and they win 11-10, I don't even care.
I'll be happy. I'll be happy with that. I'll be really happy with that.
I'll be doing backflips if we win back-to-back. Like, I don't care.
I can't. I'll break a hip.
I don't care if we win 20-19. I don't care. Yeah. As long as we have a higher number, get us back into the playoffs, and then we can tweak what we need to tweak up.
Something.
I think, Tony, we got to get into the
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes.
Series predictions.
God. One of the toughest moments
of our thing. Friday, the first game, the Y2. No, not Y2. Friday night.
Rock and roll night.
Rock and roll night.
Yep. Go ahead. I'll let you do your damage first. I already can see by the look in your face you're not happy with this game.
No. There is not going to be any damage control that needs to be done because the damage will already be done. I just don't see it. I mean, Saskatchewan is due for a loss. The Bandits have a good record against them in this building.
Yep.
What? They didn't prove me a damn thing in Vancouver. They really didn't prove me much in Halifax, even though that was a win.
Yeah. Go ahead. Say what you got to feel.
15-10, Sass.
Oh, ouch. Man. I know, and that's something we have to start doing. We can't be always saying they're going to win every game. I get it, but
I mean, this Bandits team though is also they have a hard time scoring 11, 12 goals. I've noticed that too.
It's true. It's true. I'm not going to lie. It is very true this year.
If we want to throw that into one of our keys to a series victory here, you gotta score more than 11 goals. I mean,
I agree
against both of these teams.
Yep.
But yeah, I got 15-10 Sass in game one.
For me, well, I want to do I need to be proven wrong again to help, like they did against Halifax and they won. So if that's going to help and that's going to be the case, I don't want to say the score, but I really don't want to say what we could really do either. But I'm going to go loss against Sass, but it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a 13-12 loss. We're going to lose by 1.
Regulation?
Yeah, definitely in regulation. I think it's going to be a nail biter to the end. We're going to get our chance, but we're not going to be able to score. So it's just a 13-12 loss. But again, like I said before, prove me wrong, boys. If you did before when I said that, so do it again.
On a better note, though, if it's any consolation, I do think we need to sweep this series to keep our postseason alive. But
agreed.
I said on the last show that I don't think this is a postseason team. At least as of right now. Now they want to go out and prove me wrong, they can go ahead and do it. But you got Toronto coming up too. Man, another building that the Bandits are pretty good in. I'll say the Bandits go in there and win in Toronto. 13-10.
Okay.
That'll be the game where the Bandits score more than 12 against Little Bros. 13-10.
Well, on that note, since the Bandits have had success against Troy Holochek, all right, well, this is where I would be pissed off at the world, not just the team or the league. I'd be pissed off at the world and play out of my rear end and just unleash hell on Toronto because we don't like to lose to Toronto ever. So I'm going to say Bandits win like they did against Georgia, but keeping Toronto at bay. I say the Bandits win 15-9.
I like that. Hell yeah. I like that a lot. So I got 15-10 Friday.
Yep.
13-10 win in Toronto or in Hamilton.
And I have 12-13 Friday loss, and then 15-9 in Toronto.
Now that would probably that would put you at 5-7. You're probably still hanging around 10th or 11th in the league. Yeah, Colorado and San Diego coming up.
Another two teams to watch out for.
This shows you that maybe you should beat the easier teams on your schedule, especially the home games. Maybe try beating Philly. Maybe try beating Halifax at home. Maybe try beating Ottawa at home. Just putting that out there. Those are 3 home games that all should have been wins in my mind.
Yep.
And if all those were wins, we're looking at 7-3 right now. If those are all wins, we're looking at 7-3. And if you split this series, it's
I wouldn't be mad.
It's not catastrophic.
Nope, not at all.
But Tony, busy weekend coming up. We will have the post game for you probably Sunday night at 8, Sunday or Monday, whatever day we get to it. But I think right now, Tony, time to shout out the sponsors.
Banditland Boulevard is brought to you in part by Mitchell's Tavern, located at 734 Sheridan Drive in Tonawanda, New York. Guys, if you have not checked out Mitchell's Tavern yet, myself, Tony LaMonica, over there, Trevor Hauer, we were there. We know what it's like. And believe me when we tell you this, the food is great. The service is phenomenal. They will treat you like family. Also, we'd like to thank Herney's Journeys. If you guys like to book your next trip or vacation, please contact Suzanne Pike at SuzannePike@Herney'sJourneys.com. Let her book your next big adventure. And finally, we'd like to thank Nino's Pizzeria, located at 2 spots at 1737 Orchard Park Road in West Seneca and in 315 Buffalo Street in Hamburg. Guys, you want to order your next pizza, wings, subs, you name it, as you like it, only in America. And we'd like to thank those who watch us here live on YouTube through StreamYard. Give us that like, subscribe, hit that notification bell every time we talk about Buffalo Bandits lacrosse. And for those just listening in on every device known to man, through your tablet, your phone, or your radio station through Spotify, give us that 5-star rating that we talk only good things about your boys in the orange and black, your Buffalo Bandits.
Friday night game, Saturday night game. We both predicted that they would go 1-1. Why not go 2-0?
Let's do 2-0, please. Please prove me wrong on Friday. Please prove me wrong on Friday.
Well, we actually get to see this time, Tony, how this team is with when their backs are truly against the wall. So we'll see. Let's
see, guys. And we always, even though it was critical to say the things we say on our mind, but guys, we're just telling it like it is. And I promise you, it's not being negative. It's just seeing it like you all see it. But when we have to talk, being real and crucial to the points, what needs to get fixed. We see it. We watch it every game, and we like, why is it not changing? It is all on the coaching in that, and we respect what you do. But the fact is that the people of Buffalo are trying to say, guess what? Something's not working. You need to tape it up and fix it. Let's go.
And Tony and I, we love the three-peat. Everybody should. Nobody thought the Bandits would ever have a three-peat ever.
Ever.
Why not set history? Why not break NLL records and win 4 in a row? Tony and I also want 4 in a row.
I do. I really do want 4 in a row. That would be nice.
But, Tony, with that said, busy weekend coming up. So we're going to leave our listeners and leave our viewers with 3 very easy words that are chanted all throughout Banditland. Not only that, but also Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Tony, what are those 3 words?
Like Chris Swenson always says in Banditland, to hype us up in 3, 2, 1. Let's go, Bandits.
Bandits. Let's go.
Let's go, boys. Bring home win after win this weekend. Take one game at a time, do your duties, and I promise you things will start looking positive again. But you only have to prove it to yourself. We know you're good. We want you to show yourselves why you're good. Go get them this weekend. Let's